Today, and for over 200 years, Asians have been a part of the life of the Americas. The laundry, by hand before and by machine now, a way the immigrant has made a living that is 5 generations old. Chinese laundries were made in America. There were no Chinese laundries in China. The restaurant, another familiar way immigrant families have made their living. Working together in close quarters, passing on to the son what was passed on to the father. At the boundary through which people come and go, looking out upon the world beyond her family, days musing behind the glass door. What does she see? Who out there is like her, and what do they do?
And Wendell Kim is in the dugout. Morris comes back with the next pitch.
Here's your mail. Thank you very much. See you tomorrow.
All these people, but who living here can claim this as their home? Who can claim America? For Asians, we go back centuries in time to answer. Why did they come to America? And what brought them here? We look to the early history of Asian ancestors in the Americas. How did these many peoples get here? What was it like for those who came first? What was life like when they all still lived? Our story starts with the Chinese because they were the earliest group to engage American society. In our hands, we have only fragments from the past, pieces of the whole, shards from the earth, and faded pictures. Some portraits are posed and formal, not quite revealing the fullness of the lives they lived. We hang on to these fragments tightly because they are all we have, and study them closely. But finally, we make a leap to imagining what would they tell us if they could speak.
My name is Wong. My name is Lee. Chang. Chu. I am part of the Americas, because I have been voyaging there for centuries. Mexico. Cuba. Peru. North America. I am voyaging still. Those buried here were once Chinese workers in America. Their bones sent home to China, but gone so long they lay unclaimed. Some say North America is a land without ghosts. But I am haunted by this place, whose past with me is sometimes made invisible. I will tell you what I know to be true, but there are still some things no one knows. They are lost. There is no record. There are only whispers. Then, as now, we Asians, journeying from different homelands, found ourselves sailors on the same ships, workers on the same land, settlers who made a home in the same places of the new world. I cannot tell you my story without telling theirs. And our story is told crossing centuries of time and many borders. I am on this voyage with you, seeking America's past and her present. You may think Asians are recent immigrants, but really, Asians have been in North America even longer than America has been in existence as a republic. New York, Salem, Boston, Baltimore, Philadelphia. We ply the routes to every American port on the Atlantic coast. We, Asian Indians, Filipinos, Chinese, Malays, were sailors on these ships, voyaging between Asia, Europe, and America.
Chinese and Filipinos ultimately jumped ship in Mexico. Some settled in Mexico. Others found their way across to Louisiana. And that's where, in the 1700s, began these communities of Filipinos. These were shrimping villages built in the bayou. They had very fascinating names like Manila Village, Bayou Cholas, Basa Basa, very rhythmic names. These were probably the oldest continuous settlements of Asians in North America. The Filipinos during the 1760s. And that's at least 10 years before the Revolutionary War.
One time it happened. We Asian sailors had to petition the American Congress. Our ship marooned in Philadelphia and seeking help to return home. We signed our names, the crew, Asian Indians, and 3 of us Chinese.
So how did Asians become a part of the American scene? See, Europeans were looking for Asia when they stumbled into the landmass we call the Americas today. We frequently forget that Christopher Columbus sailed west looking for Cathay, for China, for the trade.
And he thinks he's found Japan. And he's asking the local Arawak Indians, well, how do I get to India? And he thinks that they're telling him what's the next island over.
The voyages of exploration during the 15th century were mediated by the Roman Catholic Church. In a papal bull, the world, as it was known then, was divided between Portugal and Spain. And there's a curious idea that the indigenous peoples don't matter, and that the land could be simply divided.
Why did we come to America? Look not to Asia for the reason. Look to the West.
Asian emigration had as much to do with developments in Europe as it did with developments in the Americas or in Asia. Overseas migrations was part of their colonizing efforts in different parts of the world.
America may think immigrants always come to get something from America, from the West, and take it away. But really, it was very different.
East is east, and west is west, and ne'er the twain shall meet.
But we did meet. Long before Asians immigrated, when East met West, it was the West that came to us. The British came to India and took India. The Spaniards came to the Philippines and took the Philippines. The Portuguese took Formosa and Goa. The Dutch took Indonesia. The French took all of Indochina. Not to be outdone, the Japanese took Korea, later Taiwan, and tried to take China. The United States took Hawaii and took the Philippines from Spain. These were the beginnings of how East met West. And in the New World, too, Britain took Trinidad and Jamaica and British Guiana in South America. The Dutch were next door with Suriname, and the French with French Guiana, Haiti, and Martinique. Spaniards took most of South America, leaving only Brazil for the Portuguese. So when we Chinese and Asian Indians left our beloved homelands, shipped as indentured laborers across the ocean to get to the New World, the strange and hard New World, we from the East again met the West, who now became overlords and owners of our labor. And we gave them the sugar, cocoa, and cotton the colonial masters sold to the world.
So if we think about that general spread and expansion, we can understand that Asia was always on the mind. They were always looking towards Asia.
We look towards the Philippines, the heart and hub of the early